The gentlewoman from New York, Ms. Ocasio Cortez, is granted 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairwoman Waters. Ms. Darley, I sincerely appreciate how illuminating your testimony was, particularly when you highlighted who was in the shelter system with you. Did I hear you correctly when you said that there were doctors and journalists in the Washington Post that were in these shelters with you?
Yes, that's correct. You heard correctly. There were other professions. I remember them because it was so unexpected. But yes, the 3-month stay that I had there, definitely.
So there were people that were gainfully employed that were in this system with you?
Actually, 75% of the homeless population is employed, believe it or not, but because shelters are 12-hour systems where you're allowed in for 12 hours and out, they're not conducive to work.
So 75% of the people in these shelter systems already have a job and they're working.
Yes, a job or an income, i.e. Social Security or something of the like, yes.
And so, I think we've identified several large causal factors, whether it's the racist legacy of our criminal justice system, whether it is women that are systematically paid less on the dollar than men, leaving domestic violence situations that can't afford their own rent, whether it's the great need to invest and improve our child welfare system so that we are not emancipating, as was stated, children into homelessness. And also the great need to acknowledge our nation's mental health and overall health crisis, especially as it pertains to our country's veterans, but really to citizens overall. But one thing that I see is that one big factor that we're seeing that contributes to homelessness is just that the math doesn't add up. Is that wages are too low and rent is too high for a very large amount of reasons. I represent New York City, which is experiencing the current highest rates of homelessness since the Great Depression. And so we've heard a lot about the demand for housing, but we have not heard enough about the supply of housing overall. And one thing that I find interesting is that according to our housing and vacancy survey, there were 250,000 vacant apartments in New York City as of March of 2018. 250,000 vacant apartments, and even at the highest rates since the Great Depression, 63,000 people experiencing homelessness. So that's 4 empty apartments for every 1 person experiencing homelessness in one of the most populous cities in the world. So when we break that down, we see about 80,000 of them are being renovated. 75,000 of them are not even being occupied full-time. And what we're also seeing is that due to deregulations in our housing market or deregulations in taxes, is that a very large amount of high-income foreign buyers are taking up a large amount of this inventory, which is displacing full-time New York City residents, American citizens, permanent residents, and so on, people that are actually living in our community. So my question is and we're seeing also since 2008, roughly 30% of the condo sales in Manhattan developments have gone to purchasers with overseas addresses. So we have local people, our people, who are not housed, and foreign multi-millionaires or billionaires that are having their 3rd, 4th, or 5th home. So I think this is really a question about priorities. And where do we prioritize housing people in America as opposed to giving a foreign multi-billionaire or even an American billionaire their 5th penthouse? So my question is to Ms. Olivas, where are some of the issues that you think solutions that we can point to in addressing that?
It's a really important topic because there are cities across the country, not just New York, who have a very mismatched number of vacancies and the types of vacancies that they have in their city. In the district, we're experiencing that right now. The types of vacancies that are available are well outside of the affordability range for people who are experiencing homelessness in this city. So communities are doing things like trying to figure out how to do shared housing so that families or individuals can go in together on a 2-bedroom unit or a 3-bedroom unit and share the cost of that housing. Other communities are looking at landlord engagement as something that they really have to step up in order to get the number of units that they need over time.
Thank you very much.